Hi, this is Elaine Vucombe. I would like to share my faith story that recently happened to me. I had been battling with a huge ovarian cyst the size of a melon size this big um, for 5 years, about 20 centimeter large, and it bursted. It burst on October 21st, 2023, from a bike injury accident. The bike handle hit my upper abdomen, and I was so much in pain. The level was extremely painful. It was from like 9, 10 level pain. And I didn't think I would be able to continue to bike. Um, I thought of calling the ambulance, but we had two e-bikes and two dogs. And um, one thing is, I don't know how my husband's going to take two bikes home and the two dogs. And another thing was, I didn't want to be in the ER by myself. So I prayed to Jesus, Mary, Joseph, all the saints in heaven, all the angels up above. I literally prayed every single second and keep, every second, God help me, God help me, God help me, until I got home. After we put the two bikes and the two dogs away, fortunately, the ER, the hospital just down the street. My husband took me in, and the reception asked me what was my pain level, and I said 9 to 10. So they let me in. They offered me morphine, but I didn't want to get that, and so I took two Tylenol, and I was very thirsty. I asked for more water, and they didn't want to give me any water due to taking the blood test. But the gentleman was nice enough to offer me ice chips, so I just drank a whole bunch of ice chips in, and I um, I waited there for a couple hours, and the doctor said it looked like there are some free fluids that came out, and he thinks it comes from my cyst. And I didn't want to do my surgery there because I had consulted with a surgeon that I had trusted and was going to do a surgery a couple years ago. But, I decided not to. So it was back, um, the place was in Irvine. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go to Irvine, back to that same doctor that I had consulted and trusted. And so, um, and plus my pain level subsided from 9 to 10 to 7 to 8, which was better. So I went home. When I got home, my um, my husband got the baked uh, pumpkin that I did the night before, and I had kiwi and green grapes. Oh my goodness, my stomach hurt so bad. Even those food that was so soft, it hurt my stomach. And so my husband gave me another Tylenol as soon as I got the other second set of, the Tylenol at home. My body had feverish reaction, and I was in pain. So I told my husband I needed the smoothie. So he made me the veggie fruit smoothie from our fridge. And um, my pain subsided a little bit after that. So I messaged my surgeon, asking that if he could, do the surgery for me, or when I can see him. Meanwhile, later that night, or 2 nights, my pain level, especially at nighttime, it was so pain. It was just like this sharp needle-like pain, like just in my stomach, that was just unbearable, and I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. It was so much in pain, I couldn't even move to get out of bed. So I reached my hand to my laptop, which is right next to my bed, and I opened up the resource page from Christus Ministries, and I opened with Jesus on the cross, because at that time I felt this sharp pain that was just unbearable. And that topic with Jesus on the cross is just like similar to that sharp pain that I'm going through. As I meditate with Jesus on the cross, I noticed that my pain level subsided. And as I reflect how Jesus got nailed, got whipped, got the, thorns, a crown of thorns, and how he was betrayed, he was abandoned. And as I reflected on that, I just, all of a sudden my pain level just subsided. And I thought, you know what? My pain is nothing compared to what Jesus had to go through. And it got better. So I continue, and then there were two more, other videos. There were other videos besides with Jesus on the cross was Father Treden, a Jesuit, and there was other video by Jacqueline and other videos by Father David, also Jesuit, that I listened to throughout that period of time of pain to help me deal with the pain. In addition to that, I was eating healthy anti-inflammatory diet with lots of veggies and fruits as smoothies and as soups. I had to blend the soup with the veggies and noodle and chicken broth and all that in like a more like a liquid baby food substance because it hurts my stomach so bad. So that's how I was dealing with it. But within less than a week, I had to go to ER twice. And I spoke to my husband and I said, you know what? I need you to take me to Irvine, to the Kaiser in Irvine, because there is definitely something wrong. I am feeling this sharp pain that comes on and off, that it's just so sharp and so unbearable that I couldn't get up to go to the restroom at night. And so on Thursday night, my husband took me, and while waiting for him to come home, I know that my pain is it's going to be a lot of pain since I had to drive. My husband had to drive me to Irvine, which is over an hour drive, and it's going to be so painful. So I had juice, whatever veggies and fruits and that I had in the refrigerator, like celery, lettuce, blueberry, grapes, kiwi, all the veggies and fruits I had. I just juice it all and I chug it down, drink it, because I thought that day I was going to have my surgery that day. So I'm going to prepare my body and give it the nutrient it needed. And I also had juice, a couple extra, because I thought, after the surgery, I'm going to need it to replenish my health. And I know that after the surgery, I'm not going to be able to eat. So I had prepared that. And interestingly, when I went to ER in Irvine, the guy, receptionist, asked me what was my pain level. And I said, you know what? My pain level used to be 7 to 9, but when I saw him, it was 1 to 2. And when I was driving there, it didn't feel painful. And so it must have been the juice, the veggies, that's the fruit smoothie that's concentrated, fresh juice, veggies and fruit, helped subsided my pain. And so I told him, but I know there's something wrong with me because I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom. It's just sharp pain that I couldn't get up. So I got to see the doctor, and she ordered the blood test for me, the CA-125, which is the tumor marker for ovarian cyst. The normal score is 35 and under. And that day, I found that my score was over 7,500. Huge score up there. And I knew that was serious. And I had to be very serious with my diet. And I upped it a little more. And I had the anti-cancer diet, which includes the fresh aloe vera gel, which I had 1 cup of fresh aloe vera gel in the morning and 1 cup at night, with a lot of veggies and fruit, smoothies, juice, and just a lot of fresh stuff, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer diet. And I was praying every single day. And at that time, I was supposed to go to I had scheduled a retreat, a silent retreat And I had talked to, my priest, Father Tree. Uh, you know what, Father Tree, I'm not sure if I can make this, and because I could be doing my surgery any moment. And so I had consulted the surgeon on November 6th, and he said that he would let me in the surgery within the next 2 weeks, or within that period of time. However, his secretary called me and said the soonest date he has available for my surgery is November 27th, 2023. And she said, Elaine, if you said you're really in pain, for sure he'll push you up. And I thought, I really needed to go to this retreat, so I really want to. So I just left it that date and attended my retreat, my silent retreat. And the very special grace blessing I had on the very first day of my retreat was that I was able to eat without a stomach ache, and ate a full meal without a tummy ache at all. And so for lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, pretty much all the meals, I was able to eat full meals, and I had no stomach ache. Thanks God. And during my retreat, I had prayed to Jesus about my fear, how I was so scared of surgery. That's why I didn't do this surgery for all these years. And during that retreat reflection, I heard Jesus said this, which was very comforting. He said, God will never give you more than you can handle. And that just ease my mind, knowing that God knows whatever is coming will not be more than what I can handle. So I was at peace, although I was still scared going through the surgery, but I did go through it. And it was a successful surgery. Then after the surgery, the nurse gave me 25 shots of Lovenox, which is a blood thinner, to inject in my stomach. And I'm the type that when I go to get blood tests, I would look away, and I was just so scared of needles. I was that type. And my husband, he wasn't very fond of needles either himself. And he was like, he didn't even like to administer to me either. But so the day that when I was released from the hospital, when my husband injected the needle in my stomach, I had this panic anxiety attack. I was like feeling my whole body was feeling like I was freezing cold, and I felt like throwing up. I had a huge headache and dizziness, and I had shortness of breath, and my body aches, and I thought I was going to die. And in my head, I thought, only God can save me now. Only Jesus can save me now, because I really thought I was going to die. And so I asked my husband to bring the laptop and open up from the YouTube Divine Mercy Chaplet. And I thought of the story of the lady who had hemorrhage for over 30 years in the Bible, New Testament, that she believed that if she touched Jesus' cloak, that she would be healed. And sure enough, she was healed. And so I thought of that story, and I thought to myself, I know, Jesus, you're not physically here present with me, but I believe your picture counts. And I believe that you would heal me like you did for her. And so as we were praying Divine Mercy, I took my left hand and I touched Jesus' cloak as we were reading. On the right side was the words, and on the left side was a picture of Jesus. So I reached my left hand and I touched Jesus' cloak, and I put it on my belly. All of a sudden, that instant, my pain subsided. And the second time I touched Jesus' cloak and I put on my chest, and I was able to breathe deeply. And the third time I touched Jesus' cloak and I put on my back, and my pain subsided. So that was such amazing. And then slowly, eventually, that all the symptoms kind of went away, and slowly, one by one. And and then I messaged to the doctor to change the shot to a pill version, which is Eliquis, and that was better after that. Then I went back to see the surgeon, and he let me see the opened up stomach that he cut up open, and he showed me the photo, and my photo inside was all smeared of dark chocolate. It was just nasty on my belly. And he said, the surgeon said he was able to sponge only 80% of it, and there were still 20% left in my stomach. And so, and he confirmed that this is a medical miracle, because I had a huge ovarian cyst burst for over a month. And it was, it burst on October 21st, 2023. And I didn't have my surgery until November 27th, 2023, which is over 1 month later. And I did not die of infection. I did not have issues that, life threatening, or, literally I didn't die. And that was very surprising for the surgeon, and also the nurse. They were very shocked and amazed at how I was able to survive. And I thank God each day that I'm alive, thanks to divine mercy, thanks to Jesus, thanks to, God, to Mary, all the saints in heaven that has prayed for me. And so I want to share my story with you. Thank you for listening to my sharing.